coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Wine on Saturday, wine on Sunday. But coach told me I can never miss a Monday. DJ Truth.
Good evening. Welcome to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show with Coach Mike. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in the city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in on this Monday evening. Thank you for checking us out. And I urge everyone, and I want to invite everyone to get involved in tonight's show. Take your smartphone, record yourself asking Coach Mike a relevant real estate question, submit it to the Monday Night Live Call-In Show hotline at the number you see on the screen. And our super producer, Jay Joseph, may very well choose your question to be answered on tonight's show. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my co-host. He is not only one of the most successful real estate brokers anywhere in the great state of Texas, but he is also, most importantly, the co-founder of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. I'd like to thank him for taking some time out of his schedule to sit in with us this Monday evening. You know him as Mr. Michael G. Davis, but I'd like to introduce to the audience, Coach Mike. How you doing?
What's up, Prime Real Estate Rick, man? Super excited to be here on this marvelous maniac World Series winning championship Monday, bro.
I know it's a great day here in Houston, Texas, man. Big, huge shout out Houston Astros organization, all the players, coaches, and fans. Right now, we're still celebrating that World Series championship, man. Coach Mike, I think those who don't necessarily reside in the city of Houston may not necessarily understand how this championship does so much for the city, not only from a sports perspective, but also economy-wise, business-wise, and also important for us in the real estate field, real estate-wise as well. So a rising tide raises all boats. So it's a great day to be a Houstonian, man. So
absolutely,
shout
man.
out.
Hey, what I know, Rick, is that when people feeling good, it's easier for them to spend that cash. So we feeling real good in the city today, brother. It's a lot of
Hey, look, man, we've missed you, man. You've been out, man. Would you mind sharing what you've been experiencing, what's been going on in the world of Coach Mike and everything at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm?
No, absolutely, man. I appreciate you for giving me that opportunity, Rick. I've been gone for 2 weeks, man, getting to Coach Mike 2.0. That's what I've been doing, Rick. It's official, man. I got my master's certification in success coaching, life coaching, learned just a multitude of strategies and techniques as it relates to changing people's lives, transforming people's lives. So I'm glad to be back. I touched down last Tuesday. And even before I made it back, Rick, I start implementing new things as it related to our coaching process, more opportunities for our agents to get better results, right? You know, one thing that I've been saying a lot lately is, Rick, we all are getting results. You're already getting results. You just don't like the results you're getting. So, you want different results. There's some things, there's some adjustments, there's some changes that have to be made. And that's what we're all about at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, is making those changes, making those adjustments so you can get those better results. So I'm already seeing magnificent adjustments just in the mind shift that the agents are having since we've started some of the new things that we've implemented. And I just can't wait as we continue to grow and build in that area to see what changes are coming down the horizon. So, we are doing a lot of activities. I'll talk about some of that a little later. But just the way that we've expanded our opportunity for the coaching and for the agents to tap in when it comes to that it is very, very exciting and warm and bright. The future is really bright at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm.
No, the most impressive thing about what you've been doing as far as improving and evolving as a leader and as a businessman, and I want it to be an example to all those new agents, even those experienced agents. You can never stop improving. There's always opportunities to grow. There's organizations that you can gain a lot from as far as their experiences or some of the things that they're seeing in outside markets. And Coach Mike, how does being able to travel to markets outside of Houston or the state of Texas, how does that help to improve you and your overarching view of the real estate environment and real estate business as a whole?
Hey, you know what? That's a great question, Rick. What it does is it expands your awareness, right? It gets you out of your comfort zone. It exposes you to other people's window, right? It exposes you to how other people may see things differently. And it helps with you opening and broadening your horizons and your mindset. Rick, sometimes we get caught in our box and not realizing that a lot of what we want is outside of the box. Somebody just needs to help us get out of it sometimes. So what I found is going to other states, visiting other cultures, visiting other countries is a great exercise in helping you to expand your box and seeing outside of your world.
You know, the great thing is that now that you're back here in the city, Coach Mike 2.0, we have so many relevant real estate questions loaded up in the chamber that's just been waiting a couple of weeks to see, so that you can get an idea of what those in the real estate market have been going through and see if they can learn something from your expertise and your experiences. So, Coach Mike, man, I know we've been gone for a couple of weeks, man, but if you're ready for action, man, we got question number 1 ready for you, brother.
Always ready for action, Rick. Let's go.
Let's do it. Question number 1 is this. Coach Mike, how do I prepare for the new year as a real estate agent?
Okay. I think that's an excellent question. You know, the first thing that I really want to point out, Rick, is the fact that they recognize the value in preparing for the new year.
Yes.
Right. There's a number of us that, and I ain't going to say us because I prepare. There's a number of people that do not prepare, right? They're just kind of going by the seat of their pants. And what I found my 18 years being in business is that is not the way to do it. You know, one of the things that we've learned in NLP, and that stands for Neuro Linguistics Programming, and as a practitioner of that, which is what a lot of our coaching is based in, well, what they teach us is that you get what you focus on, so focus on what you want, right? And I'll say that again. You get what you focus on, so focus on what you want. So when it comes to preparing for the new year, that's a big aspect of it, is identifying what is it that you want over the next 12 months. You know, when January 1 gets here, what is the vision for what you want to achieve and the outcome that you want to have over those 12 months? So now that's you beginning to identify what it is that you want and beginning to now command your focus to begin to go towards that. So that's a big piece right there. That question, just the question itself of how do I prepare for the new year, that right there is the first step. Recognizing that you must prepare, that it's important that you do that.
You know, go ahead, Coach Mike. No, one of the great things about the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm education platform is that we have tools that agents can take advantage of as far as preparing their real estate business plan. So could you just speak to our audience, about a real estate business plan for those who may not know that a business plan is part of a professional realtor's annual preparation? And could you also talk about how Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm's education platform provides those new agents, those tenured agents, an opportunity to learn more and how to implement that type of plan?
No, absolutely, Rick. And, you know, one of the things that we encourage our agents to do at Brooks and Davis is it needs to be more than just once a year. Like you need to assess and plan more than just once a year. There's a great book. I can't recall off the top of my head who the author is, but it's called The 12-Week Year, right? And the concept around the 12-week year is instead of making annual goals or outcomes, make 90-day goals and outcomes, and then you plan them, right? You take a year, right, and say, hey, this is what I want to accomplish over the next 12 months. And then you condense that into 3 months and ask yourself, what would need to happen for me to achieve this in 90 days? And then what it's going to do is it's going to force you to get extreme on your plan and your execution. And that's what it's going to force you to do. And that's something that we subscribe to at Brooks and Davis is do that. Set 90-day goals and then set a plan around that 90-day goal. And then you look at your plan once a week and then you plan your day around what you set out for that week, right? So now you've gone from planning once a year, which is what a lot of people, if they do it once. You go from looking at your plan once a year to every 90 days and then every week within that 90 days and then every day within that week. So now imagine how many times you've looked at that blueprint, right? We're in real estate, Rick. So think about it. When a person is building a house, that builder, when he looks at that blueprint, he's literally looking at that blueprint multiple times an hour. He's going back to that blueprint to ensure that it's being built according to the metrics. Well, that's the same thing with us as business people. We need to be looking at our blueprint more, right? We wonder why the house's frame is all jacked up or the walls is tilted or, that room is not in the right place when it comes to our building. Is because you weren't looking at the plan as much as you needed to. And that's why things are out of order. Things are out of place. So at Brooks and Davis, we really promote that. One of the things that we do, especially in the first quarter of next year, is we're going to have a business planning training that we typically do. We typically do a vision board because vision and being able to internally and externally seeing your future and what it is that you're wanting to achieve is very important. One of the things that I learned and again, getting that master certification, there's a technique called time techniques where we can actually take a goal or an outcome and we can literally place it in your future on your future timeline, right? All of this stuff works. And, these are things that we're utilizing at Brooks and Davis to enhance people's results that they're getting in their business.
It's great, man. I mean, this question is so overarching for so many people that it can seem like a very huge task planning their real estate business in the future. But I think one of the things that you did by speaking towards that question is to allow people, to have a guide, but then also give them opportunity to break it down in more bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
Something that's more manageable, something that they can analyze, and something that they can implement new techniques and see results faster because you're judging yourself on, like you say, 90-day goals.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
for those who are heavily results-based in their motivation, I think what you're speaking of, Coach Mike, could play a lot to that type of personality and help people to find success when they might have previously found challenges. So that's great advice.
No, absolutely. And, we felt so strong about approaching it that way, Rick, is that in our one-on-one coaching format, I mean, it's formal, it's formalized coaching. We've set it up to where, best case scenario is going, it's going to span around 10 to 12 months. Well, as a part of that, we develop our agents utilizing that system of planning, right? Outcome, 90-day plan, weekly plan, daily plan. And then we throw in, because you got to have measurements, we throw in measuring performance. So what adjustments that you need to make, right? So it's like you're literally so hands-on with what you're executing that there's no room for you not to achieve what you're trying to achieve, because it's so much intention that's being poured onto it that there's no other options but to succeed.
No, absolutely, man. I hope everyone in our audience who had thought about what 2023 is going to look like for their business, who would like to do 5 more closings, 10 more closings, 15 more transactions, I hope they can actually heed your advice, Coach Mike. Study, use those tools that are provided to them at the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, and add and organize themselves from a business perspective so that, like you said before, everyone can achieve their 2023 dreams. So, man, that's great, Coach Mike, man. I'm very curious to see what you're going to think about this next question, because this is a question, especially with the advent of technology, that I think a lot of agents in the community would like to have you answer. So if you're ready for question number 2, Coach Mike, I have it loaded up for you.
Let's see what they got, man.
Coach Mike, should a professional photographer be hired to take pictures of my client's house for sale? And who pays for the photos?
Well, okay, good question. All right, so should a professional photographer be hired to take pictures of the client's house? Now, when I was doing real estate, or when I was actively practicing real estate, meaning working with buyers and sellers, I had a rule of thumb. Now, these were some years ago, Rick, but my rule of thumb was based off of some research that Zillow had done. Now, I don't know if the research is the same, but at that time, Zillow had found that professional pictures did not enhance the chances of a house being sold until after you hit a certain price point. That's what they had found. And at that time, that price point was $250,000. Zillow had found that houses that were above $250,000 that had professional pictures, that they could see a correlation between those houses selling for faster and for more money than houses that did not have professional pictures. But for houses that were under $250,000, they didn't see a direct correlation between the two.
Interesting.
So for me, if I'm not going to gain any value from paying extra money, or even if having a client pay extra money for these professional pictures, then it's no point. So that was the metric that I used. Now, is that still the case? I don't know. But I would encourage someone to go determine it. See if there's some research that's been done around it, maybe through Zillow or Redfin or some RIS Media, some of the other real estate media outlets, and see if they've done some updated research to determine it. And if they have, then that's what I would use to determine if you should or should not hire a professional photographer, right? If they come back and they say the same thing about, say, houses, $300,000 or $350,000, or it may still be $250,000, then that's what I would use to determine. If you got a house that's more than that, then yes, you need to get professional pictures done, because that is going to enhance the odds of you selling the property. Now, as it relates to who pays for it or not, hey, that's up to you, right? Like if you talk to the seller and you sell them on the benefit of, the value, because obviously, based on what I just said, you could show that to your seller and say, this enhances our chances of you selling it for more money and for you selling it faster, based on research that was done, and you offer them the opportunity to pay for that or not pay for that. Some agents will do that. Some agents will just foot the bill. They'll just pay for it. Because think about it. If the seller pays for those pictures, then whose property is that? That's the seller's property, right? Mm-hmm. That means that if you wanted to use those pictures for other marketing opportunities, and there are other marketing opportunities that you could use those professional pictures for, if you wanted to do that, you couldn't do that because it's the property of the seller. Well, I can't say you couldn't do it, but they're not yours. So if the seller determines that they don't want you to use those pictures for that, you can't do it. But now, if you have paid for them, then those are your pictures. You can do what you want to do with those pictures. So that's how I would kind of answer that question, who pays for the photo? There's really no standard, right? There's no rule of thumb that, oh, it's the seller's cost or it's your cost. Like, there's no rule of thumb. There's no standard. It really just depends on case by case and, what you're going to utilize those pictures for, in the future, how you're going to maximize that return on investment, if you do pay for them. How creative can you be to get more return from those pictures other than just selling a house faster? How can you leverage it more?
And for those that have a similar question to what Coach Mike is speaking about, if for whatever reason you feel as if still photos may not necessarily be as effective or may not necessarily be gaining the attention for your listing that you would like, there are also other avenues that you could research. Technology has allowed people to do things like virtual staging. And if the home is empty, there are companies that can allow those who search for your listing online to see virtual furniture and give them an idea of what a space would look like if it was furnished, if you have an empty home or an empty property that you're marketing. So like Coach Mike says, do some research, get an idea what works best for you, the product that you're selling and the price point that it's at. And with a little bit of due diligence and a little extra research, you'll find out that there are, like you mentioned, Coach Mike, there are certain things that you can notice at certain price points, and you can do what's most effective to get that done. So it's a great question.
And then I'm gonna jump in there real quick, Rick, because I'm gonna go into more detail later. But we're actually doing a lunch presentation with the company, and Rick, they do premium cinematic property videos. Premium cinematic property videos. So when people want to take it even a step above professional pictures, and you want a cinematic property video for your listing, right? We got some people they're gonna be talking about that this Thursday at the office, but we'll talk more about that later. But there's layers to this thing, right? At the end of the day, you want to put your property and put its best foot forward to entice someone to want to learn more, to want to come to the property. That's all this is. Like the MLS, the pictures, the videos, all of that stuff is to entice the person to come take a look at the property, come to the property. And then that's where your staging and all of the other stuff, that stuff is there to convince them to buy, right? But the pictures and the stuff online, that stuff's not designed to get the person to buy. You just want to position that to entice the person to come look at come take a look, come take a tour. So yeah, premium cinematic property videos, Rick.
Hey, stay tapped into the Brooks and Davis YouTube channel. Stay tapped in on Instagram. Follow CEO Coach Mike, because these type of trainings and workshops are something that are hosted at the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm Education and Training Center on a weekly basis. So these type of things, you can add so much to your business just through education and know-how. So that's why I want to make sure I commend everyone at the office, Coach Mike, because these type of activities aren't always easy to organize, but they're always beneficial. So I hope everybody takes advantages and taps in. Absolutely. Oh yeah, big, huge shout out to everyone who has submitted a question for tonight's show. Yeah. We just love interacting. We love answering these questions. Remember, even before the show, all week, record yourself asking Coach Mike a relevant real estate question. Sit it into the Monday Night Live Real Estate call-in line, and the best and the brightest and the most unique questions, the most thought-provoking questions, Coach Mike and myself will try to get to on next week's show. But I want to give a big, huge shout out to everybody who follow us on Facebook, checks us out on Instagram, subscribes to the channels on YouTube. Please stay active because we love the engagement. Coach Mike, we have a third question for this week's show, and I'm very curious to see what you think about it. So if you're ready, let's check out question number 3.
I can't wait. Let's go.
Question number 3, Coach Mike, where do you get clients to work with? Open houses, buy them, or etc.?
Where do you get clients? That seems like that's the $1 million question, Rick.
No, and Coach Mike, that's something that when you haven't been in the real estate sphere as long as someone like you or myself, that's a question that can seem very complicated. But the cool thing is that you and people like yourself have so many tools. So please, Coach Mike, share with the audience some of the tools that you would use if you were in a position where you just needed to get more clients.
Absolutely. So, Rick, this is the thing. It's so simple, it's hard, right? Mm-hmm. It's just so simple, it's hard. For most people, they have to get comfortable with the word. I ain't gonna say rejection because it's not really rejection, right? Mm-hmm. But we just got to get comfortable with the word no. Mm-hmm. All right. This is what I know, Rick. Houston, the Houston Metroplex has over 5 million people in the Houston Metroplex. All right. We'll use social media platforms, say Facebook. Facebook has over 1 billion people. They say there's more people on Facebook than in India. Right, which is supposed to have the largest population. Right. I said all that to say this, Rick. If you need clients, you got to go to where the people are.
Yes.
Because that's all clients are. They're just people, right? Mm-hmm. So the more people that you can make aware of the fact that you do real estate, right? The more people that you can remind. Right. Even if we don't go with the whole 5 million in Houston, 1 billion on Facebook, just start with the multiple hundreds of people that are you connected to. Right. Mm-hmm. There's some people that you're directly connected to. And then there's some people that's connected to people that you directly connected to. And then there's some people that's connected to people that are connected to people that you are directly connected to. Like there's these multiple connections.
Yeah.
So we'll say that's multiple hundred, if not thousands. We ain't even got to get into the millions, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the more of those people that you make aware, the more of those people that you remind on a consistent basis, the more of those people that you ask for business on a daily basis, that's where you're going to get your clients to work with.
Yeah.
Because when you think about open houses, that's all that is. You're putting yourself in a position to draw people to you to either make them aware of the fact that you do real estate, remind them that you do real estate, and ask for business. That's all you're doing with an open house. When you buy leads, that's all you're doing. You're buying people for you to make aware of the fact that you do real estate, remind that you do real estate, and ask for business. That's all you're doing. So that's it, Rick. That's why I said it's so simple, it's hard. So now when you think about it that way, hell, you could have went downtown to the Houston Astros championship parade.
Yes.
And said, I'm just gonna tell 100 people, 200 people, hey, I'm a licensed real estate agent. Who do you know looking to buy a house, sell a house, or invest in real estate? Now, is that gonna be comfortable? No. That's not going to be comfortable for most people, but that's where your success is outside of your comfort zone. And here's the thing about the comfort zone. You do it enough, it becomes comfortable.
Absolutely.
Right? You do it enough, it becomes comfortable. That's the secret sauce, Rick. Every day, make an intention to tell as many people as possible, make as many people as possible aware of the fact you do real estate, remind as many people as possible of the fact you do real estate, and ask as many people as possible for business, right? And then when you look at it from that standpoint, Rick, then that's when the windows of creativity begin to open up, because then you'll soon realize when you hear it's a numbers game, it's a numbers game, and it's a numbers game that can easily be won if you just approach it with that level of simplicity. We do not have to overthink it. So to their question, where do you get clients to work with? Outside your door.
Absolutely.
The end, right? Outside your door. Now, if you don't want to go outside your door, guess what social media has done for you? You ain't even got to leave the house now and go get new clients on social media, digitally. You can go get them, hit them, and get in their DMs. You know, you have access to all of this stuff now, so it's easy, very easy, Rick, very easy to get clients to work with.
And for those new agents, those newly licensed or fresh from real estate school, talk to your brokerage, interact with some of the agents, interact with your tenured agent, interact with those high producers. Because one of the activities that Coach Mike recommends that I recommend is that volunteer to host open houses. Those highly successful, those highly productive agents, they would love to have a licensed agent to help man some of these open houses. There are so many agents that have more than 2 listings, more than 3 listings, more than 4 listings at a time, who could not possibly host all those open houses on the same weekend. And to your earlier point, Coach Mike, all of those families that come to those open houses, even if they aren't absolutely in love with the home that you're sitting in, they are actively searching for a new home. There are so many people, and it's like you said, Coach Mike, it's a numbers game. They all don't have representation. Matter of fact, there's a large percentage of those who shop who like to visit open houses and have not decided upon representation. So to all your earlier points, step outside your comfort zone, and most importantly, volunteer. Let people know you're here to be a resource, and do not be afraid to host an open house for someone else.
Hey, that's a great point, Rick. You know, we're in conversations right now with builders, and you know, it's some production builders that have a lot of inventory that they want agents to come hold these houses open. I mean, they're actively, like, if I was a new agent right now, I would be doing an open house every weekend. I know like new agents with Brooks and Davis have the ability to do an open house every weekend. Matter of fact, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if they wanted to do 3 open houses in 3 different properties, they have the ability to do that. And I would be taking full advantage of it, Rick, because if I'm doing an open house, then Thursday, say I'm doing an open house on Sunday, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if I choose to, gives me reason to go to the community, go talk to the business owners, go talk to the neighbors. Remember, all you're doing is that you're trying to make yourself aware. You're trying to make people aware of what you do. So now you have something that's relevant, right? You going up to it should make it less uncomfortable for you, because you're going with some level of relevancy when you go talk to that neighbor, or when you go talk to that business owner, or when you go talk to that school, and making them aware of the fact that if they know of anybody that's looking to purchase a home, or they may be the person looking to purchase a home, you're just making them aware of the fact that you have one, and that they'll be able to see the inside of it on whatever day and whatever time, right? You go out there, Rick, you go out there and you talk to 100, 200, 300 people, I promise you, clients is going to be the least of your issues.
Yep. It's so true, Coach Mike, man. I urge everyone, if this type of conversation, if this type of show, if you've really enjoyed hearing the answers that Coach Mike provides, this is just a tip of the iceberg to what you can experience and take advantage of if you watch BND TV. So, Coach Mike, we're at that point of the show where I want to give you an opportunity to tell everyone in our audience about what's going on this week at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. What can they see on BND TV, and what type of great activities and trainings do you have on tap for the next 5-6 days?
Hey, man, jam-packed week, brother. It's good to be back. So, it's good to be back. So I know tomorrow we're going to be doing 2 more of our BND TV weekly lineup shows. We're doing the Real to Life podcast. We have another great guest, Mr. Evans Charles. He's a realtor and adventurer. I know he is real big with his Jeep Club and the things that he's been doing in his life. So it's going to be a very exciting interview tomorrow at 12:30. Again, we're going to be going live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And then we're going to be following that up at 2:30 with our Mastermind Through Tough Times. What are your 2023 predictions? Right, my money is on Mattress Mac for all the 2023 predictions. That boy pulled that $75 million bet, baby. Let's go. That's the kind of energy we need to be rocking with. So just a little bit of shop talk, real estate professionals doing a little bit of shop talk, talking about randomness. So we're going to continue that trend on tomorrow at 2:30. Then on Thursday, I believe, we have let me verify my date, Rick. Hold on. Because it say Wednesday on here, but I believe that this is supposed to be on Thursday. November 9th. What day is that?
That is
Wednesday. No, that's Wednesday. No, that is Wednesday. All right, so Wednesday, we're going to be doing a lunch presentation with Snap House. And remember, I was telling you about those premium cinematic property videos, right?
Yes.
So this company is going to come on Wednesday. Matter of fact, if you go to, they have a link. Like if you look at any of the marketing, we have a video link that shows the video. Like you can literally go to YouTube and see this premium cinematic property video. I've never seen anything like it before. It's like a movie, right?
Oh wow, that's outstanding.
Yeah, so it's really gonna be good to learn more about that product. They also have the Matador, Matterport. That's what it is, Matterport. A lot of us are familiar with, the Matterport rendering that. They have access to that to where they can do your property in like a dollhouse view. They can do it where it shows the layout. They can do it where it's a virtual tour. So all of these phenomenal angles and renderings that they can do of the listing. Right. So with that, in addition to the premium cinematic view, there it is. So there's the link to the videos. You go to YouTube, you can check that link out, check the video out, and see what we're going to be, what Snap House is going to be coming to talk about on Wednesday, and get you some lunch on us. They do 12 to 24-hour turnarounds. Yeah, get some lunch on us. And you can get you some premium photos for $99, Rick. $99. So, yeah, so Snap House, they're going to be there on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. So make sure you go to the website, reserve your spot for this Wednesday. And then Thursday, and I'm going to let you talk about this, Rick, where the Prime Real Estate Network. So why don't you go ahead and tell them about, our newest addition to the BND TV weekly lineup, Prime Real Estate Network.
I want to big, huge shout out to everybody at Brooks and Davis TV, man. We've had a great time. The Prime Real Estate Network is now live streaming every Thursday at high noon on Facebook and Instagram. The show is produced by our super producer, Jay Joseph. Big, huge shout out to her. It's been really great. I want to urge everyone, if you missed last week's show, go check it out. Our guest was social media influencer and comedian, Mr. Kenice Nana. He is a hilarious comedian. He has some great stories from his time on the road, some of his Airbnb adventures. And he also shared with our audience a little bit about some of those little known vacation destinations, Coach Mike, that we may not all be really hip to, that we definitely sleeping on. So go to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. Check out last week's episode with Mr. Kenice Nana. And I want to thank you so much, Coach Mike, for introducing us and adding us to the BND TV lineup.
Hey, look, it was long overdue, Rick. So I'm glad that we was able to pull in that program. I mean, that program has been so valuable for years, Rick. I mean, just to see it blossom the way that it's blossomed and how many lives that it's helped, how many people the platform has been able to just expand entrepreneurs' businesses, man. I mean, I just love that Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm is connected to the Prime Real Estate Network in that way. And it's a great addition to our BND TV. And then finally, Rick, one thing that we used to do, we did it on, and this is for our real estate student affiliate members. Those are individuals that are in the process of getting their real estate exam. Getting their real estate license. They've taken the class, they're in class, or maybe they've taken all the classes and maybe they've tried to take the test a couple of times and they haven't had success. or wherever they are in it. They're not licensed, but they're enrolled in at least one class. Those group of people. And what we were doing every 2 weeks, Rick, is that we would have what was called study hall. Well, then Coach Mike goes to LA for 2 weeks and learns all this new transformative stuff and just says, you know what? This is what my people need to get past this real estate exam. Those ones that have taken it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, and they can't get past the exam. I've learned some things now that I can offer to these individuals to get them past it, right? Because until you get licensed, I can't help you with the real estate stuff. I can't help you get over the hurdle of being a licensed agent and doing these things, a lot of these things that we talk about here on Monday Night Live for licensed individuals. I can't do any of that stuff until I get you past that exam. So now that I had all of this, I just felt like every 2 weeks just wasn't enough, Rick. We got to do this every week. We got to come together every week, Rick. And I got to help these people pass this test. And I got to inspire these people. And I have to give these people resources that they can tap into, internal and external resources that they can tap into to ensure their success and crush this exam, that I know that they can do it. So starting last week, Rick, we're doing it every week. Every Thursday, starting at 5:30, it's really a group transformation coaching session, but it's designed and designated. It's designated for my real estate student affiliate members. Every Thursday in person at the coaching and training center, the central office, every Thursday, 5:30, in person and virtual. I'm spending time with the real estate student affiliate members to get them to crush this exam and get past this exam every Thursday, Rick.
And
that's just one of our group transformation coaching opportunities that we host every week. We host 5 of them, Rick, every week. 4 to 5 group transformation coaching where I bring the agents together as a group. And this is in addition to the one-on-one, Rick. In addition to the one-on-one, we now have the group opportunities for my agents. So when I tell you we serious about this coaching, we serious about this support, right? This mentorship, this giving you everything that you need to go to the next level, for you to be a top producing agent, for you to be a successful real estate professional. We have put our money and our time and our energy where our mouth is. And we have what you need to go to the next level. So every Thursday, Rick, we're doing that. 5:30, in person and virtual. If anybody's interested in learning more about the affiliate program, they can go to our website. They can become an affiliate. It doesn't cost anything to become an affiliate member with us. You just got to sign a letter of commitment and show us that you're ready to go, that we're not going to be wasting our time and our energy by pouring into you. You sign off on that, and then you'll be ready to rock and roll and take advantage of what we're doing every week to ensure that they crush that exam, Rick. I'm super pumped about us being able to offer that now.
No, I want to say, like I said earlier, big, huge shout out to the entire staff, the entire team over there at Central Office, man. These type of undertaking are something that as a team we have to pull together to pull off. Big, huge shout out to everyone there. Big kudos to you, Coach Mike, for seeing the value in reaching out to those student affiliates in this way.
Yeah.
And, man, this show, it provides just so many worthwhile tidbits and things that people could add to their entrepreneurial utility belt. I want to thank you again for taking some time out of your Monday, man, because I know how it is at the beginning of the week. Yeah. And before we sign off this week, Coach Mike, any final shout outs or any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
No, man. I mean, I think I've said it all, Rick. I'm glad to be back.
Oh, no. And thank you. We're glad to have you back, Coach Mike. So on behalf of Mr. Michael G. Davis and myself, Rick Davis, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show. If you need us, we're always here for you. In the meantime, in between time, everyone in the audience, please, this entire week while we out here, please be safe and be blessed.